One of the more useful tools when testing our systems is tcpdump, which we can use to capture TCP packets that are transmitted on the local network. We need to make sure when we're trying to capture packets that are travelling between other hosts on the network that we've got promiscuous mode set. This is set in the virtual machine configuration under Network Advanced, and as we can see here, we have it set to Allow All. tcpdump is a command line tool and is included in the Linux distribution. It has some basic command line options. We can check tcpdump -d to show the list of interfaces that we can select for capturing traffic. We can use any to capture all traffic on all interfaces. We can also use the -c switch to limit the number of packets we capture to just 10. We need root privileges to run tcpdump when we're capturing packets, so we'll type sudo tcpdump -i any -c 10. We can use the -n switch to suppress hostname resolution, and -nn suppresses both hostname and port name resolution. Let's run with -nn, and this time we'll limit our interface capture to Ethernet 0. OK, now our packet capture shows the IP address and the port number. Some of the other common switches we can use are T, X, V and S. Let's run with -S0 -TX. -T makes the timestamp human readable. -X displays the packet in hexadecimal and ASCII. -V is used for verbose mode, and -VV and -VVV more so. -S is used to specify the size of packet data displayed. The default display size is 96 characters, but we can use -S0 to display the full packet. tcpdump also allows expressions to be used as filters. There are three forms of expression: type expressions, for which we can use host, net and port; direction expressions, source and DST for source and destination; and protocol expressions, TCP, UDP, ICMP and the AH authentication protocol. We can also use IP6 as a protocol expression to see all IP6 traffic. Let's have a look at the traffic to and from our Windows server. We'll again use Ethernet 0 and capture 10 packets, and we'll specify host 10.0.2.38. Let's now see only the UDP packets on the network, and we specify that just with the UDP protocol. Let's look at traffic to and from a subnet. Sudo tcpdump -eth0 -c10 net .0.2.0/24. Let's look at traffic just to one and then a range of destination ports on our Metasploitable server. tcpdump Ethernet 0, 10 packets, and we'll look at DST for the destination port, port 443, and destination port range 1, to 1023. We can also write out the file that we capture in ASCII format using pipes, or we can capture it as a pcap using the -W switch. Let's capture and record all IP6 traffic on the network. So we'll capture IP6 and we'll record it in IP6.pcap. We can do more advanced expressions using and, or, and brackets. Complex expressions may require quotes. For example, let's look at traffic to the Metasploitable server on ports 80 or 443 from our Windows system. Sudo tcpdump -i ethernet 0 -c10, and we'll now say source is 10.0.2.38, our Windows system, and DST port is 80 or 443, close brackets, quote. And from our Windows system, we'll navigate to http 10.0.2.32, and we can go to one of our websites. Okay, we can also check and filter on flags in the header. We can do this using direct offset expressions such as TCP header offset 13-bit2. To do that, we'll use the expression TCP 13 offset 13 &2 not equal 0. And we won't wait for that traffic, but that would capture those. We can do the same thing using the expressions TCP flags and TCP SYN. TCP brackets TCP flags, and we're looking for a flag equals TCP SYN. And here we've got some. This allows for some useful diagnostics on the network, limited only by our imagination. We can look for an SSH service on any port by checking for the term SSH in the banner text. To do that, we'll check TCP square bracket open bracket TCP 12 shifted 2 :4 close bracket equals 0 times 53 for S, 53 for S, 48 for H, 2D. Okay, this will find these requests regardless of the port the service is running on. From Kali, let's SSH into our Metasploitable server, and then we can see that we've captured the SSH header. Another check we might want to do is to check for invalid combinations of flags, such as the REST and SYN both being set. To do that, we'd say look for TCP 13 has both 4 and 2 set. This has been just a refresher. There's a lot more for you to explore in tcpdump. It's a powerful packet capture tool.